This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be a friend of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment with your host, Crishaun the Don. This is the Kane Cartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.
Kayfabe Cartel. Yeah. Kayfabe Cartel. Kayfabe Cartel.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am here. This is the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. I am America's most dangerous host, Crishaun the Don. You could follow me on X at Crishaun the Don. And I am here with a very special guest from the P.U.W.F podcast for unappreciated wrestling fans. It should be the appreciated wrestling fans. I'm going to say it every time. NXT Live with DWalk, or NXT Time, excuse me. NXT Time with DWalk. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, DWalk himself.
Yo, what's going on? Thank you for having me on. What's going on? I see we got some little spicy. It's going to be a little spicy tonight, ain't it?
A little spicy, a little political here tonight.
Shout out to my partner. Shout out to my partner, Joe BNCO.
Yes.
You know, we a team and everything, so you know, we represent each other. So I'm representing Joe BNCO, the Invisible Man, P.U.W.F. Check me out. Check us out. NXT Time on Wednesdays, P.U.W.F. on Saturdays.
Nice. I love a good scheduled podcast. That's what I've been working on myself. I'm horrible with scheduling.
Yeah, it happens, bro. We grown now.
Takes a lot of discipline. You're right. We did have we had a really good conversation off air about getting old. Maybe we'll rekindle that later. But yeah, you were saying how you know you're old when you start using like old expressions.
Yeah. If the Lord fit, the Lord see it. I'll be 42.
What's your birthday? Well, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be 40. I'll make it to 40.
Waking up 6 in the morning, watching the obituary station.
Whew. It's nobody I know. Thank God. Praise the Lord. Or you see somebody die of some like old man thing, like, oh, he had a heart attack. He's 2 years older than me.
Right. We were just in the club last night. We were just partying.
The fuck? He was just screaming YOLO while he was pouring champagne on a bitch. What happened?
Right.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into God willingly, we about to get into some politics. Now, I don't know how real quick, because I do a political show, Misfit Nation, if anybody doesn't know, if you're just a wrestling fan. And I'm very much a open Trump supporter. I have been for 8 years now, something like that. Got the Trump shirt on right here. You can go over to shopmisfitnation.com. So also got my MAGA hat, you know, gotta do the whole nine, right? I don't know. What DWalk? I don't know.
I need one of shirts from
shopmisfitnation.com, baby. Well,
yeah, I know I got it.
We've never had like a full-on political conversation, me and you. So I don't know if you want to give any of your background on that. Like, what do you? Not necessarily who you're voting for. If you want to give that, you can. But what's your?
I'm independent, but I'm all for the TUMP.
Nice. Why so? Give us a little reason.
I think
were you always, or is this a new thing?
No, I wasn't. I mean, when I was younger, I wasn't never in politics and everything. And like you said, remember we started getting old and everything, so we started talking. We started watching politics and everything. But he always been a businessman. and a businessman go take care of his business. What's going on?
Got you. There was something you said earlier. I'd like you to repeat it. Is about first, second, and third place.
Oh, yeah. So the way Trump doing it is, to me, well, everybody might be related. He's trying to bring back that old fashioned value of first, second, and third place. She trying to do it the fact about it where everybody in first place. You ain't gonna never be able to succeed if that happens. Cause you always gonna be
Right.
expected to be first place and everything. So everybody first, who could get better? Who could Kobe Bryant, even with Kobe Bryant, when he got in last place, what'd he do? He went to practice. He went to study. So if everybody in first place, they comfortable where they at.
Exactly. Nobody's growing and innovating
No.
and revolutionizing any industries. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're talking
Everybody got
about.
everybody
Well,
got a titty name out there.
yeah. Well, that's why a lot of people like me, for instance, I see the connection between what she's pushing and communism. It's basically the same thing. It's that everybody's equal in their outcome. So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how hard you work, we're all going to be equal. So why work
Yeah.
hard? That's kind of
Yeah.
the mentality. So
And
yeah,
then to
you're
me,
spot. Go ahead.
it makes it seem like it's opening more for the alphabet warriors, the
Yes.
LGBTQ. Yeah.
Really, it leaves it open to all the weak people in our society, and it
Yes.
doesn't let the strong people be strong, and it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. That's basically what she doing. Why do I?
Yeah. I
Why?
mean,
How do we equal and I'm better than you are? Like that is like saying, okay, Michael Jordan is the best basketball player, but then you got somebody like I don't know. Let me name a scrub. Somebody who rocked the bench. So you mean to tell me Michael Jordan, the best basketball player on the planet, but then I get treated just like you do? No, you got to
right.
work for that.
It's like you don't even have to come up with a scrub. You just go, why am I not the best basketball player in the world?
Yeah, yeah,
You don't even have to go that far. So it's like
yeah.
that's literally the equality they're looking for. And that's why I learned, as I learned more about politics, that I'm not in favor of equality. It
Mm-mm.
has nothing to do with race or sexuality or
No.
anything. I believe in merit. I believe you work hard and you
Hmm.
get what you put in.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple thing. And nothing
Yep.
in this world is for free. That's the
No.
one thing my father taught me that I love for him to this day, for teaching
Hmm.
me. Nothing in this world is for free. Never take anything for free.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, well,
No, what you mean when you remember how they say hard work pays off?
mm-hmm,
In a minute,
absolutely
if that happen, if she get in, it ain't gonna be none of that. Everybody gonna be equal.
right. Okay, well, let's get into the reason why we're talking about this in the first place. And that's basically the IWC lost their fucking minds because Donald Trump got a certain endorsement. And this is what I say. You Democrats, you liberals, you could keep your Taylor Swift. You can have your Bohemian Grove. Because we got the Brothers of Destruction.
They choke slamming everybody who disagree with him.
We had Hulkamaniacs, Hulkamania. Now we have the Brothers of Destruction.
All right, everyone, November 5th, Election Mania. Choice is yours. You can go with President Trump, Kane, and The Undertaker, or you can take Kamala Harris, Dave Bautista, and Tim Walz. Choose wisely. The nation depends on it.
And that should be
Damn.
That was a light shot at Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
But to be fair, and this is my kind of take on the whole thing, like, yeah, Dave Bautista got a little backlash for supporting Kamala.
Yeah.
But two things about that. One, he was being an arrogant fuck when he did it,
Yeah.
where he was talking down to people. And two, Dave Bautista and somebody prove me wrong if they can, Dave Bautista didn't get the same kind of backlash that the Undertaker is getting now.
No.
Nobody on the Trump side denies that Dave Bautista was a huge star and still is a huge star. Like now you see people on the left wing side that's hating on the Undertaker going, "Oh, I'm glad the streak was broken. I hate the Undertaker." It's like you're really, you can't just acknowledge that he was still like a huge part of your childhood. Like so I think there's just a major difference in the two ways they got their backlash. Yeah, they both got backlash, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. It's completely not. And then, like, to me, the way Batista said it was the way he said it was like they paid him to say, "Hey man, say this," because
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Batista have Batista got in trouble a while ago or years ago or something like that?
So I think supposedly he had some kind of
Yeah,
thing, but I don't want to say for sure. I don't
yeah. I
know.
mean, allegedly, but the
Yeah.
thing about it though, when you got the Undertaker and Kane talking, like I said, they've been straight business. Like even when the whole commotion with Bret Hart and everything, they was 10 toes down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
this what really made me like start looking at political stuff when I was watching. I don't know when we talked about that when in '67 when Lyndon B. Johnson said, "I have these NIGGERS vote Democrat for the next 100
For the next
years."
100 years, yep.
Mhm.
As he was
Well,
signing the
yeah,
Civil Rights Act. Yeah.
we used to be Republicans. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Republicans fought to end slavery. The
Yeah,
Democrats were the slave drivers. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's crazy when you actually start learning the hypocrisy and the
Mhm.
brainwashing and gaslighting that
Yeah.
went on, even like throughout our childhood. Like that's another big thing that kind of like it. I didn't like break right and then go into like, oh, I'm a Trump supporter right away.
Yeah.
I was more like, all right, you know what? I realized they're not racists and they're not
Mhm.
sexist bigots and all this stuff. That's just a thing I was told. Like, so let
Mhm.
me listen to them and see what they have to say. And when I heard what they had to say, I was like, you know, that's like the values I was taught growing up. Like that was
Mhm.
like they were just kind of reminding me that I was raised by, you know, a good
Mhm.
family. You know, I had my dad around and I had my grandfather there. Like,
Mhm.
you know, so that was a big part of it, was just like breaking the brainwashing aspect of
Mhm.
it. Sounds like you've done that too. I don't know. Did you ever
Mhm.
believe that the Republicans or Trump was racist?
No, no. I mean, a lot of people they do their research. He helped out a lot of black people. He
Yes.
sponsored Jesse Jackson to run for president in '92.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
crazy.
He
And then it's the one where it's I was reading where black people that was in debt they went and borrowed money from Donald Trump, and when you go back to pay him back and everything, he said, "Man, keep that money.
yeah.
Get your stuff together." Don't nobody
There's
understand that part. I mean,
when he
like I said,
first
I don't see color. I don't see color. I see what's right and wrong. I mean, like both of them got bad parts about each other, but I want somebody that's gonna have my back when something go down. We
well
go to war. We
my
go to
thing
war
too
with
is,
her.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
You know, I said we go to war with her. We screwed.
Absolutely.
Just
If
like
she has
okay,
to
like
go if she has
yeah,
to go and speak to another foreign
hmm
leader, she's going
yeah,
to fold,
hmm
and we're going to be paying that foreign leader basically ransom money.
yeah. Just like the Merchant of Death, we let the Merchant of Death go over a
Listen,
basketball player.
I'm an admitted sexist. Another big part of it is I just can't vote for a woman. And I'm
Yeah,
not have to agree or disagree, but
yeah.
I just can't do it. It's like women just can't be leaders. They just can't do it, in my opinion. I mean,
Especially
I've met
when
a few like where maybe they can be good managers at a company or something, but leading a country, oof.
imagine how bad it'd be when it's that time of the month for
Hey, hey, you're a misogynist, DWalk.
them.
There's a really interesting video I saw of Trump with this kind of ties to wrestling as well, with Titus,
Yeah.
formerly known as Brodus Clay. And he's kind of explaining one of those stories you were just telling about how Trump has a lot of these stories of, and it's not just black people, it's a lot of
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
Trump and black people included into this one, where he let them stay in his hotel for free because they were homeless, or or they lost their house or something like that, and they worked in one of his buildings. Like, he was a very charitable guy.
Yeah.
And everybody loved him until he ran for president and won.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weird thing.
Like I said, I ain't gonna lie, I was mad when he did, but I had to go back and do some research.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I encourage everybody. Just do a little bit of research that's outside of the mainstream media. Just do a little bit. Just follow your fucking heart. Here's the video. Let's just play this real quick.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How is somebody, and that's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
It's something that I've never, I love doing it. I don't need praise for it. I don't, we all like a certain level of praise, but I've never, I just like helping people. I help a lot of people and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
But I think it would help a lot of the American people who have been misled, I myself included. Now, listen, I'm voting for you now because of the man you are. Not
we don't have to play the whole clip there, but it's pretty interesting that, it's one of those things that a lot of the narrative about Trump is that he's this narcissist and that he loves having his cult praise him and stuff. And it's like, not really. He's not that. He actually does good things for people and doesn't brag about it. And that's why we don't know about it.
Yeah.
So
how many stories like that have you heard about her like that?
I've heard nothing but horror stories about her. And it's like, or I've heard horror stories about her.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Like a doorknob.
You see what I'm saying? Hey, Kamala back in her day, she was a looker. See, there goes one of my old words. She was a looker. Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm not under some illusion or delusion that Trump is perfect or he's Jesus or anything like that. I know, and that's the thing, is I know his flaws. He shows us his flaws, and I accept people who have flaws. That's as simple as that goes.
Instead of hiding yours, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think the Undertaker necessarily needs defense, but I think it's ridiculous like that. As far as they go, I don't mind any, like, if you disagree with the Undertaker supporting Trump.
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of it. That's just part of the game. But this, like, where you're going as far as, like, kind of like berating his career or belittling his career, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Now you just sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
And here's a last thing I'll say too. A lot of people are going, I'm glad that Brock Lesnar broke the streak. I think Brock Lesnar is a Trump supporter as well.
Yeah, I think he is too.
I'm pretty sure.
Imagine
what they're going to do. Imagine what they're going to do when they find out all the Trump supporters that are in wrestling.
Yeah.
I believe Kevin. Go ahead.
His boy got his bag too, Mr. Vinnie Mac.
Oh, yeah. You know my theory on that, right?
What's that?
I believe that Vince McMahon is being taken down artificially because of his support of Trump.
Yeah, probably, maybe.
I believe.
But did you hear the whole story about her? How she wanted Vince McMahon to break up with his wife.
Bro, I
Why
read
was going
all
on?
all the letters, I read all the texts that most podcasts didn't do, and I'm glad you did
Mhm.
too. I appreciate that. That she, even in the text that she put out, she was trying to get him to basically leave his wife, and that's what I think happened, was that he was like, he's not gonna leave
Nah,
Linda.
nah.
She's the ride or die. She
Yeah,
knows where the bodies are buried. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
And she got jealous and all that stuff right there. Yeah, but I
exactly.
mean,
But where she gained traction in the media, I think
mhm,
that was because of Vince McMahon's support of Donald Trump. Now, let me explain real quick the backstory of it. Back when Trump was running the first campaign,
mhm.
do you remember when they came out with the whole scandal about grab her by the pussy?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that thing came out.
Mhm,
Trump's campaign almost was over at that point.
mhm,
It was basically done for. And what happened was Vince McMahon got behind Trump and put a lot of money behind. He put like $8 million. Like as soon as it happened and he saw what they were doing, he gave him
mhm,
$8 million. And he's like,
mhm,
here, put this behind your campaign, and like I give you my full support. I think since that day, he's always been
mhm,
supportive of him, and they wanted to take down everybody around Trump who
mhm,
has some kind of power.
mhm.
They want to take that person down.
It'd be crazy. We see the Undertaker and Kane getting indicted on something tomorrow. Like what? Hold on, what?
You'd be surprised. I bet you. I'm glad you said that. Actually, I bet you that's gonna happen. Good fucking call. Kane
Yeah,
embezzling.
former Mayor Glenn Jacobs and WWE wrestler Mark Galloway was just indicted.
They're gonna try to use wrestling
They
storyline.
they
Did
they in
former
prison on no
Knoxville
bail.
did Knoxville mayor murder his parents in a fire? Trying to use
Wow.
the
Yeah, they use his wrestling gimmick. Oh,
with the
they
help
wearing his
of his
wrestling gimmick.
brother Undertaker.
We not even brothers, man. What you tell me? We not even brothers.
Oh
Y'all
my god.
brothers couldn't say it's in the court case.
Murdered his father by leaving him in a freezer.
Mark, what is that? They gonna use his Ray wrestling. The Undertaker, he
Yeah.
uh he killed his manager in cement. He drowned him in cement.
Seaman.
I mean, that was an act.
It wasn't really him. He wasn't in there.
That was an act. Yeah, they'll
Bro,
probably be in prison.
Undertaker throws an insane man to his death. They show the Hell in the Cell. Leaving him for dead.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if they throw him under the book, not knowing he alive. Like I'm watching Mick Foley. Like I'm watching it. I'm watching it. Look, I'm alive. He tried to call and everything. His phone blocked and everything. Somebody cut my phone off.
They call me. You faked your death in '93. That was an act.
Yeah, we
real.
gotta get you now. Gotta get you now. That'd be crazy.
Oh Jesus, bro! I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with Kane, because Kane is
Yeah,
actually in politics.
yeah.
It's
If that happened,
surprising. Go ahead.
I'm gonna message you like, man, I told you so.
I'm gonna have to clip you saying it. He's a
Right.
puppet.
I knew it. No, what you about to say, bro?
I was just gonna say it's crazy to me how like quickly so many wrestling fans and wrestling outlets flipped on the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought the Undertaker was like sacred.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like the lack of integrity is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, when this list come out, it ain't gonna be too many people that's gonna be presidents and actors and wrestlers and stuff when this list come out. You know what list I'm talking about, right?
Oh, the freak off list?
The baby oil.
The baby oil list? Oh, there's some
Yeah.
stuff on that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out on that now.
What if she part of it? What if she part of it? Then what?
That would be crazy. And I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
You know? All right. They were all like, they have Obama, campaigning with Diddy. They have video of that, so it's like
He was part of it too.
Yeah. Here's the last thing I'll say on the whole Trump Undertaker thing is everybody is bitching about it. And the funny thing is I don't see any kind of like where the Undertaker's career or anything is any kind of jeopardy. And it makes me realize that the leftists and the progressives who have been going all off on this cancel culture thing, they've lost their power. This whole thing of you come out as a Trump supporter and you get canceled, it's no longer a thing. I think that's not the toxic. It's not the toxic conversation it used to be. So
you're right.
Yeah, it could be the at least the end of this era of cancellation of cancel culture.
She win. It's gonna be the era of crybabies when you could verbally cuss out somebody and they cry and they call the police and you going to jail.
And you go to jail. Yeah. That's happening in Canada.
Yeah.
It's happening in the UK
I believe it
too. Yeah.
I believe it.
We have a guy that I know from the UK named Crossman Wrestling. I don't know if you know. And he was telling us about that. There was a point where they were arresting people for what they say on social media.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, our First Amendment gonna be gone. She get in.
Absolutely.
They slowly but taking it. Yeah.
First and second. And I've been telling people, load up while we have this window, just in case.
No, but like you said, after this, I'm done. But you remember when she was talking about taking everybody guns?
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be a shootout.
It's gonna be civil war if they do that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why martial law coming.
Well, that's what they try to do is they try to do it little by little now. They'll go, okay, you can have your gun, but you can only carry 6 bullets.
We gonna mess around and wake up. Yeah, we gonna mess around and wake up and look out the window and see a big ass tank outside on our street and everything. Like, what's going on?
Knock on your door, sir. Can we have a word?
with a tank aimed at your house, though. Like, if you don't give it to it, you gonna blow it up. Like, hold on.
Jesus. Yeah, bro, that is communism.
Yeah,
just explain communism. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on. While we have a little bit of time here, you were bringing up the Motor City Machine Gun.
Motor City Machine Guns
debuted
on SmackDown.
The Motor City thing, I believe that's a Detroit thing. So I believe they're from Detroit.
Yeah,
you're in that neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
So you got some representation.
Yeah, feel good. It was dope. I mean, like I said, I've been watching them since probably like early 2000s. That's how long they've been out. But they wrestle some everywhere. New Japan, TNA. So for them to come to the mainstream is dope.
I'm sure especially if you've been watching them from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were they one of those teams that got like well known in your area first and then branched out, or did they just have the name?
No, I think they started from like high schools and everything. I mean, they, like I said, they from Detroit, so yeah, they grinded though. They really grinded. Like they made it. That's why they tell a lot of people like a lot of people know them because they grinded. Like they went from nothing to pretty much they up there with the Dudleys, and everybody know who the Dudley Boys is.
Yeah. How long have they been going for?
How long they been going from where? Wrestling?
Like how long have they been like? How long did it take them to get to WWE? I guess from start to WWE.
Man. I probably when I was watching them in Impact, it was like 2006, 2007. Then they went to Japan, and then it was independent. Probably like they just now start just in WWE now.
So we're talking almost 20 years.
Yeah,
So
that's how long they've been wrestling. And if you
that's
go
like-
back and look when they first wrestled, they still look the same. So you know they got to be taking care of themselves.
Right, right. Hey, I mean they looked good. I don't know anything about them. Like you
Mhm.
said, they were how you said they're like the Dudleys, where you knew who they
Mhm.
were before they even got to the mainstream.
Mhm.
Even if you didn't know them, I would have to believe that because I knew their name. I've known their name for a long time. I just never. I try not to check in on indie stuff
Mhm.
because a lot of the times that turns me off from people for some
Yeah.
reason. So
I mean, but we did see TNA as an indie show, like especially way back in the day. I don't know. Is
I
New
think it was a
Japan
little bit
Wrestling
above.
indie?
No, I think those two are a little bit above indie. I get
Mhm.
why you would say that at certain points, sure.
Mhm.
But I think they were because if you have a TV deal, if you're consistent kind of thing, you have a consistent show.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd see that as an indie. Like GCW to me is an indie,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see what you were saying about that. And I mean they looked good. I like their name. I think it's a nice strong name. It's a nice old school name as well.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
it is.
I'm glad WWE didn't make them take the guns part out.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. Well, they about to go in that. They about to go to. They about to go to Netflix on it, and pretty much Netflix gonna be crazy.
Well, they went even as far as having Wade Barrett say Raw is War
Mhm.
when they came out, the War Raiders.
Mhm.
So
Finally.
yeah, and they didn't change the name War Raiders either because that was a
Yeah.
big sticking point when they first came out
Yeah.
or
What
came to
was it
W.
like? War Raiders, Viking
Right.
Raiders, Viking Experience. Then
Yeah,
now War Raiders.
and then War Raiders again.
That's crazy. You went through four. Like you went through three different names, and within a what? Couple of years? Within 1-2 years?
What that is definitely one of those things. As much as I love Vince, that is one of those eras that I hated of him, where he was so
I was
sensitive.
confused.
He was so sensitive of all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like we
I
can't
was
have
confused, like,
war.
huh? I'm like, man, it was just the War Raiders last week. This week they the what Viking Experience. Like, man, they was just the the Viking Raiders. Now they the Viking Experience. Like, this was like 2 weeks ago.
It's like let this Viking thing go. Jesus,
Yeah.
you're
Who's
ruining it.
making up these names? Who's making up these names?
You're right. You're telling me you couldn't come up with a. I'd rather them just. I know you couldn't do this because I guess the NFL team, but just call them the Raiders. Something.
Something with a Z.
Yeah, I don't know. Make it a fucking Viking symbol. That and Raiders.
Yeah. Oh
Artist
man.
formerly known as the Raiders.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, WWE been dropping bad names for these wrestlers and they tag teams.
Yeah, I tend to find that it's like partially it's because they're trying to come up with like real names
Mm-hmm.
rather than coming up with like at least you got like Ivar. You know, that's a
Mm-hmm.
made up name. Like, you can do something
Yeah.
with that. Like when they have a
Yeah.
guy come out, it's like this is Eric Stevenson. All right. Fuck do you
Well,
do
hold
with that?
on. What about Steve Blackman? Steve Blackman, it was a wrestling, but he could kick you. He could kick your lights out, wrestling or not wrestling, because he was a martial artist.
Two things though. Steve Blackman was the real deal,
Yeah.
which kind of didn't cross over into wrestling. He was too real.
Mhm.
And two, Steve Blackman is a badass name.
I'd have heard stories about him putting him putting a couple of wrestlers down.
Breaking some noses and cheekbones and shit.
Last person I want to bump into it with, they say, you down for like As you fall in, you still get punched.
I think somebody really missed a big opportunity. There was a show that he was pitching. I remember back in like the early 2010s that he became a bounty hunter, and he was trying to do like a Dog the Bounty Hunter kind of show. I was like, how the fuck did somebody not pick that up?
Right. I'd have
Or
loved to see him
WWE?
choke out somebody.
Are you
Loved it.
kidding me? Steve Black,
He
and then
kicked
he just
somebody
does
through a
that,
door.
he does that serious stare as he's knocking on the door.
Hey, look, you ain't even. Hey, I just be like, yep. I'm just turning myself in now. You open up the door, he just staring at you like, yeah, I'm ready now. Let's go.
You get ready to fight, and you're like, "Are you Steve Blackman?" Like, yeah. All right, I got you. Here.
And then they quit getting fun for him, so he started disguising himself up. And you won't notice it until he put hands on you. Like, man, you Steve Blackman, ain't you? He pull off the mask like, yep.
You Steve Blackman. Holy shit. I should have went to court. Oh no, I'm glad I didn't go to court. I would have never met you.
No, I should have went to court, man. I should have went to court. They telling me you was gonna be looking for me too.
Yeah, well, what do you see, because you're much more well versed on the machine, I almost said Machine Gun Kelly's, the Motor City Machine Gun, sorry.
Hey, we don't say that word around here.
Just having a good time, but
hey, no, but
what do you see them going? What do you project?
Well, next week they wrestle for the number one contenders against DIY. So I could see them beating DIY and then beating Judgment Day. Madonna and Sami Zayn for the tag team title. Yeah, JD and Sami Zayn for the tag team titles. And they probably go roll with him for a minute.
Oh, you think Sammy's gonna beat Judgment Day?
No. Not Sami Zayn, but Finn Balor. My fault. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, I think Motor City Machine Gun.
Plugged into
I'm hoping Sami Zayn don't be in that bloodline feud. I'm gonna be mad.
Oh, he's totally getting put into it.
I'm tossing furniture around that happen. I see that. I'm tossing furniture.
Now I'm actually, I think it's a good idea to put him into it. Why are you against it?
I don't know. They could have a legit family member in there. As many of them. They got like 4 more people they supposed to be introducing. 4 or 5 more bloodline members they put. Why you want to have Sami Zayn in there? I mean, I understand that he started. He part of the glue, and he broke it up. But to me, wouldn't it be crazy if Roman Reigns had nobody and Seth Rollins stepped in?
I honestly, I would rather, for storyline purpose, I get where you're going with that, but I would rather Sami Zayn, only because Sami Zayn was such a pivotal part of the Bloodline story. Mm-hmm. There was a point where a lot of people forget this. The Bloodline story was starting to get really boring, and then they plugged in Sami Zayn, and it reinvigorated it. So
yeah,
and if you look at the story, who better than to mediate the twins than Sami Zayn?
Yeah, you're right.
Real quick, he's gonna at least jump in for the mediation of the twins. Of like, they're gonna have a thing in the ring where they're arguing, and then Sammy's gonna come in, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, shit."
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that now, but to me, it's just the fact about it. They pushed Sami Zayn down our tongues for a minute for the IC title. He didn't even have no need to win the IC title. Right after he lost the IC title, he getting a world championship title the next week, or in contention of, like, come on, man, let's just start from scratch.
And I'll be honest, that his feud with Braun Breaker kind of soured me on Braun. Like, I felt like Braun Breaker looked way too weak against Sami Zayn. Now, if you're gonna do that'd be fine to do like later on down the road after you establish Braun Breaker. But they didn't do that yet. They did it on NXT, but you know, not as many people. I don't watch NXT, Not as many
Mm-hmm.
people are watching it. They should be because they should be tuning into NXT time with DWalk.
DWalk. Yeah. Holla at me Wednesday 9:30.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's I think they're definitely going Sami Zayn in there. The fact that he's not an official family member, I think that's fine because the Samoans have always dealt outside of the family, like throughout their history. So Paul Heyman, for a good example, like he's been a part of the Samoan dynasty from, what, the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's part of their sort of thing. They're not necessarily that tribal as far as like they'll plug people in when they need to. But yeah, like I get more mad when they plug in Cody. Like I feel like that's like, all right, we don't need that. But
I mean,
they
I like
used
Cody. I like Cody, but they just put him in at the wrong time. Roman Reigns should have still had the belt until they got to Atlanta. We know that's where Cody rose from. But on a Braun Breaker version, Braun Breaker still should have the U.S. title right now. Man, he still should have the IC title. My fault. IC title. He shouldn't have never lost it.
He should still be on that run. You're right. Yeah. He should have dominated Sami Zayn. He should be dominating like damn near almost most main eventers.
Everybody.
Like he should be a dominant champion.
He dominated Gunther. He dominated Gunther in NXT, so come on.
Yeah,
he beat Gunther.
Yeah, well, that's where I didn't see that, so that hasn't resonated with me.
I got you.
But I get where you're coming from. I wonder, like, does that, like, if they were to do that again on the main roster, does that make you like a little less impact for you because you've seen it already?
Right.
Because DIY you brought up earlier, right? And I think this is the problem they have with a lot of NXT stuff is DIY. I think are their story was very interesting because I was watching NXT at the time, and the problem is when they got to the main roster, all their story had already been told. Like they've everything you could think of. So it's like when they get to the main roster, you're like, well, now what? What do they do? I feel like they do that a lot with NXT. They waste a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's
that's
like,
a lot of them.
Yeah. Tell a lot of that storyline on the main roster. Why not?
Yeah. Look at Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler was hot in NXT. She's former NXT champion. Look what she's doing now. She did.
I loved Shayna Baszler in NXT. I was like, oh, this is like a new type of like female wrestler. She looks like she can actually fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
And then they put her on the main roster, and now I skip every one of her segments.
Yeah.
Like I hate the Damage Control feud. It's like she's just there.
Look at JD McDonough. He was a main eventer in NXT. Look what they got him doing now. He might be able to say something every other week, but he ain't saying nothing serious.
That's another problem. They're not giving these guys enough like moments where they can feel the pressure of like, okay, this is a live crowd. I have a microphone in my hand for 5 minutes. And I've been saying this for a long time. You know, when they'll be in the ring and they'll be like talking and then they'll get cut off by somebody's music. If you notice, they do that way sooner than they used to.
Yeah.
They don't let them because they notice that the guy that's in the ring is getting a little nervous and they'll hit the music right away.
Yeah.
It's like, no, let him feel that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him. It's like you said earlier, put him under that pressure and let him get better.
Yeah.
Stop giving him a first place trophy when he didn't earn it.
And it's another thing that killed me is y'all keep letting these old wrestlers, to me, I like Rey Mysterio, but once you're a legend, you're done. You should be done. You shouldn't be still wrestling because you're a legend. What's the reason for you still wrestling and you're a legend? You ain't got no reason to unless you love it. You know what I mean? You should be done.
You should be telling Rey Mysterio should be telling the story that he's on the tail end. He should be getting ready to tell. Really, it's building up for a final match with him and his son.
Yeah, but they already wrestled, so it wouldn't even make sense. You gotta have like I want to see like what if like it'd be crazy if Ray last match was they brought Hoovy in for one match. That'd be dope.
The Juice.
The Juice. That'd be
I love the
dope,
Juice.
man.
They'll never WWE will never bring in Hoovy.
Yeah, I was mad at them how they had them ride them lawnmowers, man. Oh man, come on.
Oh man.
But this what killed me though is when they have the old wrestlers like Oldberg supposed to be coming back and wrestle one more match.
Looks like they're setting up with him and Gunther.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Just why?
If he's not coming back to maybe get a spear and then get choked out and that's it, I don't want to see it. I only want to see Gunther. I only want to see Gunther destroy Goldberg and make his mark of like, no, that era is over. Don't even ask for him to come back.
If Oldberg win, I'll quit watching wrestling. If he beat Gunther, I quit watching. But supposedly at Crown Jewel, he supposed to cost Gunther the match, and Cody's supposed to win it, and then that's how they gonna start their feud.
I mean, I could see it, and again, the only thing I want to see is if they're gonna do it, Gunther just dominates Goldberg. I don't even want to see him fuck. I want to see Goldberg go for a spear and Gunther no sell it. That's how much I want to see. Like, because you're right, they need to start doing with these older guys because the fact is they're not going to be around much longer. So put over the new generation before they go.
Yeah. You seen Goldberg almost killed Undertaker with the jackhammer, almost dropped him on his head.
Yeah. Let Dominic have a nice clean victory over his father.
Yeah.
And retire him.
Get him out of here. Yeah. And it'd be better if he did it for his mask. You gotta retire and you gotta give me your mask.
Yeah, yeah. And then here's the thing is now then you have Dominic Mysterio as this piece of shit heel that can now brag about retiring a legend who just happens to be his father. So it makes him a piece of shit. Like you retired your father. Yeah, he's a legend, but it's hard to respect it.
Yeah, for real. Like you got to be heel for the rest of your career. You do that.
Yeah, yeah. But here's how they could set that up: is Dominic's never had a clean victory over his father. So I think that's a clean one-on-one victory. If you notice, every time he pins his dad, it's in a tag match.
Yeah,
I think they're saving that one-on-one victory.
I can see that. I can see that. Oh, another thing I want to ask you about is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin going to AEW.
I have a hard time caring about anything that happens in AEW. I'll be honest.
However, Bobby Lashley is in AEW now.
I'll tell you why I've never been a Bobby Lashley fan. And I know when you look at him, you see what he's capable of. You should be a fan of him. It's his mic game. It just never got better for me to where I just was ever interested in. Whenever he had a mic in his hand, I always was like, oh.
But he have got better from when he was at WWE the first time till now.
I guess, but not enough to where it captivates me.
But they got MVP right now, and then they got Shelton Benjamin, and then Bobby Lashley on his way within the next week or two.
So you think they're gonna put the Hurt Business back together?
Yeah. Supposedly, rumor is that they supposed to have Powerhouse Hobbs in a group too.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
The real big, angry-looking black dude, muscular black dude, no Diddy.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
the dude that always look angry. But
look, I'm fine with it. I mean, anything to help that company.
Yeah.
Do something that puts them on the map or makes me go like, oh shit, I gotta watch AEW.
Yeah. I'd rather see Bobby Lashley than Oldberg.
Yeah, I'd rather see somebody new do something amazing.
Because all Oldberg showed me was 3 moves with 2. No, 3. 3. He do that Goldberg, and then the spear and the jackhammer. But this his whole career only been 3 moves.
Well, I realized something. From the day that Goldberg started in the business to the day that he had his last match, he never actually learned how to be a wrestler.
No.
He never learned. He didn't
That's
learn
why
in WCW. He didn't learn in his first run in WWE. He didn't learn in his off time.
No.
He didn't learn when he came back.
Did you hear about this? You probably this is a while ago. This is like when Goldberg started being on the street, and he wrestled William Regal. And I forgot who told William Regal to like outclass him and everything. Everything William Regal was doing to Goldberg, it was technical, and Goldberg couldn't handle it. So William Regal got in trouble for it.
I actually remember that match.
He embarrassed Goldberg.
I remembered, for some reason, I always remember Goldberg's like first 5 matches. I remember his first match with Hugh Morris. And that match specifically, I remembered seeing it. And I remember and then I remember watching it back like later on, and you can see like William Regal is really like schooling him.
Yeah, schooling him.
And Goldberg has no clue what to do.
Yeah.
So
you know what you about to say, bro? My bad.
I was just gonna say I think the it's just a little side. I think the person that told him it wasn't Bischoff, but it was one of the ring road producers or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Somebody just told him. But supposedly that person was told by somebody else. It was a game of telephone kind of thing.
But but Goldberg got the big head. So William Regal was trying to let him know, like, no, bro, no. This you keep going like this, you gonna be doing 3 moves your whole career.
And now William Regal also isn't one to be fucked with. He like came from a bare knuckle background.
No, that's one person.
That's why people respect him, I think.
Yeah. Hey, but as much as I'm talking about Goldberg, what if I get a message down in the corner and say your ass is next?
DWalk fears Goldberg.
Damn.
You start hearing that music in your fucking head.
Hey, what if then you hear the doorbell ring right here? I'll say, oh shit. That'll be real messed up. As soon as I get that email, my doorbell ring and it's him.
You did last thing we could talk about. You did bring up Daniel Bryan is having his last match. I didn't know.
No, he had his last match. This was at Dream. It was at DreamCon. This was like last weekend.
Oh, he had it. I thought you said he was having it.
Oh no, it was last week at DreamCon last weekend. He wrestled John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, for the AEW World Title.
Now you did make a really interesting point earlier off air about that with the Shield members. What was it again?
Monday Night Raw, he lost against Seth Rollins. When he went to SmackDown, he lost against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns beat the shit out of him. And then he ended his career wrestling John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose. All 3 Shield members. One is in a different wrestling organization. The other 2 still with the WWE. So he lost to all 3 former members of the Shield that used to wrestle together.
To end his tenures, basically.
Yeah.
That's one of those like really coincidental facts. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This what made it some more crazy. He wrestled Daniel Bryan. Man, he wrestled Seth Rollins retired. When he retired for a little bit and got his neck back right, he came to SmackDown. Roman Reigns beat his ass. And that's when his contract is up and he went to AEW. And this was his final match that he ever wrestled because he got to have neck surgery again. So he done.
Wow. So that's it for him wrestling, period.
Yeah, that's it. That was his last hurrah.
Hey man, legendary career for somebody who wasn't supposed to have one.
No, people don't even know that. He wasn't supposed to have no career.
Yeah.
He was so underrated.
From the beginning too, I heard a story where Mark Henry was talking, and he said that when he met Daniel Bryan, he was like, this guy has to be in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm going to talk to WWE for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to talk to WWE. He was like, oh, I got this guy. He's 6'8". He's 300 and something pounds. And but like he basically told him a complete lie. And then Daniel Bryan showed up. And they looked at him like, what the fuck? And they were like, it's the only way I could get him in. I promise. You guys are going to love this guy.
And they had no choice but to get him in after they seen him.
He was like, this guy's going to be a fucking star. Like, Mark Henry called that shit. You got to give it to him.
He said 6'8", 308 pounds.
He described Braun Strowman.
What? Hey. You know they mumbled under their breath something that Mark Henry like, you mother.
You lucky you're a gold medalist, you motherfucker.
Right. And then later, a couple of years later, he got fired. But they brought him back.
For the tie choking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Daniel Bryan was having a bad day. Never know.
Or he got a little too into it. What are you gonna do?
Maybe his eggs, he got up, wanted eggs, and the eggs were cold. He was mad through the whole time. You don't never know.
Yeah. Before Brie, he probably probably went a little. He was going through a dry spell.
Maybe he snorted some bad cocaine or something,
Just started being a vegan. He was pissed he can't eat bacon anymore. Choke a motherfucker too.
Somebody gave him veggie bacon. Somebody gave him real bacon instead of veggie bacon. This is not funny, guys.
This is not soy.
Who did this? I'm choking everybody out. No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. Somebody gave him real sausage instead of veggie sausage.
Well, I mean, I guess like as a quick, little mini tribute to Daniel Bryan, because I didn't know this was his last. He had it already, but and I didn't know his career was over, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Daniel Bryan, the whole Yes Movement thing that bought me a few more years of watching wrestling, because there's a point where I was like, I'm getting a little tired of this, and then that Daniel Bryan thing that just really captivated
the Yes Movement. The Yes Movement.
The Yes Movement. Well, before the Yes Movement, I remember. Do you remember this? This is some of my favorite skits from WWE Raw ever. Is the anger management?
Oh, him and Kane.
Bro, those are still funny as fuck.
I'm finna go watch that on YouTube.
Bro, they still hold up. They're hilarious. It's better than anything they're doing on wrestling right now.
Right now, yeah. He got Kane to give him a hug and everything. Man, that was hilarious.
There's a part where they do a trust fall with Howard, and then they let him fall, and they look at each other. And he goes, "Did you know I was gonna let him fall?" He goes, "No." Did you know I was gonna let him fall?
They was like assholes though, but they was like trying to one up each other being an asshole.
And yeah, they created a bond through being pieces of shit to other people.
Yeah, right. Right. Hey, but can nobody else call him that? Because I could call him that. You can't.
That was hilarious. Yeah, they would tear each other apart, and then if somebody else tried one of them, they jump them.
Hey, I can't ever say your bullshit. It's my bullshit. My bullshit is your bullshit.
Oh fuck.
That's exactly how it was.
All of those skits are gold. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I gotta watch that again.
And Daniel Bryan was a huge part of why they were gold. So it's like Kane was the straight man, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, but, he was.
Yeah, and that all came about from that 16-second match he had with Sheamus at that WrestleMania, and then the fans from that day the fans like were all in Daniel Bryan's corner.
Yeah,
like we're not gonna stop.
But
what? Go ahead.
No, I said, but he worked it. I mean, like I said, he won another again. Daniel Bryan was a wrestler that started from nothing and came all the way up to a huge Hall of Famer, a legend.
Yeah.
You could put him on. You could you could put him. I put him on a second tier. Like Bret Hart is my number one tier. I had to put Daniel Bryan in my tier 2.
Oh yeah, I think if you were to make a Mount Rushmore,
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a little generic to say, but a Mount Rushmore of this era or
Mm-hmm.
even that era, you got to put Daniel Bryan up there.
Yeah.
And
But
he
see,
again,
I got different. Like I don't have an all time Mount Rushmore. I got different. I got a powerhouse Mount Rushmore. I got a cruiserweight Mount Rushmore. I got a technical Mount Rushmore.
that's a good way to do it. Yeah. That is definitely a good way to do it. Here's another thing though, is Daniel Bryan came from that era of the indie wrestlers that were
Mm-hmm.
more trying to go into the technical aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
Thing that Daniel Bryan showed though, and this is what I think why he captivated so many people, is that he also had a personality. He was also
Mm-hmm.
funny, and he did that anger thing very
Mm-hmm.
well. And his anger was hilarious, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went to a few of those shows back then, and I remember from walking in through the parking lot to the arena, walking back to the parking lot, people were chanting yes the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Like
agree.
it was exhausting.
I agree. Hey, let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
How different would the WWF, WWEB be like if Eddie Guerrero never died, Chris Benoit never died, Owen Hart would never die? How different you think the WWE would be? You think if WWE would be on like nonstop fire, or how would you think it'd be?
Um,
You think it'd be in more order than it
to
is?
be honest, out of those three that you mentioned, I think Eddie Guerrero
Mm-hmm.
was the only one that I think would have lasted to even this generation, as far as like being like still doing work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he'd still be wrestling, because I think how
Mm-hmm.
old would he be? He'd be like in his 50s, right?
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows though? Eddie
Yeah.
Guerrero probably would have wrestled till he died. He would have been the
Yeah.
Mexican Ric Flair.
Coming down there in a wheelchair. Hey, Ric Flair's still wrestling.
Yeah.
He's still
Meaning out of those names, I think the only one that would have made an impact that would have been felt to this day,
Mhm.
like in terms of what he would have done, and I'm just
Mhm.
guessing, I think it's Eddie Guerrero.
But think about this: if Owen Hart would have died, Bret Hart would have never left the WCW. And if Bret Hart would have never went to WCW, he would have never got kicked by Goldberg.
Well, no, Bret Hart was going to WCW anyway, because he went to WCW before. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to change the scenario, but
Owen Hart, honestly, I don't know if he would have made like a big impact in terms of like because, and I don't know if that's necessarily his fault. I think WWE didn't know what to do with him. He was just like, I think he probably would have eventually went to WCW maybe in its like dying days. 99, 2000, maybe 2000.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It would have to be like him coming back and doing something in WWE.
Yeah.
But you're right. It does change the entire dynamic of the Bret Hart family being attached to WWE. It removes a lot of darkness. Chris Benoit also. I mean, it removes a huge, like, WWE changed a lot after Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
So actually, Benoit would have been the biggest impact in terms of the business.
Yeah. And we talked about that already. We talked about that story, them theories already.
Yeah, but imagine Benoit not doing what he did, or the story, if you don't believe it. What would the WWE have done after that? Like, first off, the Vince McMahon storyline of him getting killed would have kept going.
Kept going, yeah.
So that would have been as ridiculous as it was.
Mm-hmm.
They would have, I guess, discovered who did it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you go with that.
But I think it'd be a lot of better wrestlers wrestling because Chris Benoit, he had people in shape. He had people working for the pay their dues and everything. No, like it'd be a lot of more wrestlers that know technical wrestling.
Fair, like in terms of like backstage too. He
Mm-hmm.
kept people in line.
Yeah, that even with that CM Punk thing that's happened, that wouldn't have happened if Chris Benoit was back in stage back there.
Well, do you think like I could see Benoit have been being a guy that would have went to AEW?
Yeah,
He'd be one of those guys. Like with
everybody
Jericho.
would have been terrified of that man being in the back if something happened. Let the fight break up. Let the fight happen. Here come Chris. All right, y'all better chill out.
He's so serious.
Right. He ate with an angry face.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thought exercise.
Yeah.
That'd
be crazy. And
I
think about that a lot though. What ifs? What if this happened in the WWE, or what if this happened in professional wrestling?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, it's like one of those things of if the curtain call didn't happen, then Triple H would have won the King of the Ring. We would have never had Austin 316.
True. Yeah.
Austin may have been delayed his growth a little bit or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And think about it. People are still wearing Austin 316 shirts to this day.
Still wearing them.
Without the curtain call and that fuck up, it doesn't happen.
True. What about when Triple H tore his quad when him and Stone Cold was tag team? What if he never would have tore his quad?
I got to remember what was going on at that time, but I think
it was Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho tag teaming. That was when Stone Cold and Triple H was the two-man power trip.
Well, I believe the big change would have been is that Triple H would have been part of the invasion angle. I think that's why he missed that whole angle, right?
No, he tore his quad.
Yeah, but I think it's because he tore his quad is why he missed that angle.
Yeah.
He wasn't around for the WCW.
Yeah, he's down for a while. Yeah, and that's why Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit won the tag team titles.
I think I got that. That timing right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I got to look that up again. Invasion happened in 2001. WrestleMania 17, I believe, was the WrestleMania like the week after he bought WCW.
Because Triple H came back when Chris Jericho was undisputed champion.
Yeah, so that was after the invasion. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because Chris Jericho wasn't even in the main event before he left.
No. Yeah.
The invasion angle is, I think, what put Chris Jericho up into the main event. Because he was part of the teams. He was part of both teams.
Yeah, but
I think could be a little off, but
hold on, you said I think Chris Jericho went to WWF. It was WWF like 90, like 2000. Yeah, 99.
Yeah. Because he was doing the Millennium thing before.
Yeah, he cut off The Rock.
Yeah.
Him and The Rock had that segment. Man, it's crazy how time fly.
Yeah. Which is again one of my favorite moments. Most favorite moments is the Chris Jericho debut.
Yeah.
That shit was
that was crazy.
Yeah.
But
then he floundered for a little bit, I remember. Yeah. And then he won he won the Intercontinental Championship, and then he was like mid-card for a while.
Yeah. IC title, European title, yeah.
Tag team titles.
Tag team title, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, my
guy was Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle came a long way. Kurt Angle was a nerd at first, and then he got vicious. He was like a pit bull giving blood. He was vicious after that. He got his head cut.
Kurt Angle, even when he was a nerd, was one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
He's just like, he was so funny.
Yeah.
Like
The segment with Stone Cold when Stone Cold was throwing the beers at him.
Yeah. Oh, I was watching the other day Stone Cold and Booker T, because a lot of people talk about the grocery store.
Oh man.
Go and watch when
the
they were
firefighter one.
when they were in the church.
Oh yeah, that was part of that. Was the whole segment.
Yes, bro. It's one of the it's one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah, but it was a couple of segments though. It was the one where Stone Cold was a firefighter when he beat up on Vince McMahon and Booker T, and then it was when he's chasing Booker T and Booker T was hiding. He went and hid in a church. He went and hid at the bingo hall, and then he was at the grocery store. Man, that was hilarious.
He's playing bingo, and then you just hear Austin's voice on the thing. B18.
When he was going to pray to when he's at the Catholic church and when he's praying
in the confessional. And then he was listening to the woman's prayer. And he's like getting off. She on a confession.
Send me the tape.
Send me the tape.
Hey,
Bro.
Booker got milk.
But when he came out of the fucking cooler.
Drinking milk, got milk.
Oh man. Great.
Hey, that was segments they can't never do again. Them were segments they can never do again. Damn, what's another segment? They had a lot of good segments.
They were too funny. Hey, look, I actually got to run, D.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So we'll continue this conversation.
Yes, sir.
We can end it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. And then once again, check me out Wednesday, NXT time with DWalk, Saturdays, P.U.W.F. Want to thank, give a shout out to Misfit Nation, Crishaun the Don, Joe BNCO, the Invisible Man, Kane the Destroyer, man. We miss you, man.
Nice. Where's Kane the Destroyer?
He been off the thing for a little bit.
Oh, off the grid a little bit?
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you got to. You got to. I've done it before, so.
Yeah, like a reset thing.
Yeah. You come back stronger, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Shout outs to everybody. Everybody, appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is the Kayfabe Cartel. DWalk, thank you so much for giving me your time, my friend.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, man. Always. Love talking to you guys. All right, guys. We are out of here. Oh, don't forget to follow me on X at Crishaun the Don. Shop MisfitNation.com if you want some shirts and merchandise and whatnot. And Misfit Nation at Misfit Nation on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey. And that should be all. Podbean, misfitnation.podbean.com if you want the audio version. I will actually be adding Kayfabe too, because now in Podbean you can add multiple shows. So I'm going to add Kayfabe, have our wrestling show on Podbean very soon. Actually, this may be the first one. May make this the first one. All right, guys, I'm out of here. We are out of here. Thank you so much. Peace.
Kayfabe Cartel!